Good morning, students. Students, today I am going to start our next chapter of biology, and the chapter is heredity and evolution. Students, in this chapter we have to discuss about heredity because the evolution portion is deleted from our syllabus. So I will discuss about heredity, and I will also discuss about the different uh, types of experiments which were performed by Gregor John Mendel and different laws which was proposed by John Mendel. So initially I will discuss the concept of heredity as well as variation. So students, I want to discuss that what is variation. As I already discussed in my previous chapter, what is variation? Actually, variation means the differences between the characteristics among the individuals of the same species. Okay, students, if you will observe the characteristic features of you as well as your sibling, so you will find out too many differences between these two or you two. Means our parents are similar, but still we have, if we are observing two siblings who are brothers or two siblings who are sisters, so we will observe that there are too many differences or too many differences or distinctions between us, and these differences between the individuals of the same species are referred as variation. And one more thing I want to tell you, that these variations are very important for us. Now why these are important? Because they enable the organism to adapt themselves in the changing environment. As we know that the environmental conditions are regularly changing. If we are not changing ourselves according to your changing environment, so definitely one day we will not be able to survive here. So if we want to survive in this earth or in this world, so we have to adapt accordingly. It means we have to adapt ourselves according to the environmental changes, and variations are helping us in the evolution or adaptation. Simply I have to say that. And the second more important thing why variations are important, because variations form the basis of the heredity. Now these variations which are occurring, definitely they will pass into the next generation. I mean to say that the changes which you are observing in the offspring will definitely pass into their offspring, means they form the basis of the heredity. Now the third and very important, they form raw materials for the evolution. As I mentioned earlier, if variation slightly variation will come and they will accumulate, so definitely one day the newborn offspring will be quite too much different from the earlier one, and we can say that a new kind of species is going to be originate from the previous one, and this process is called as speciation. Now the thing is that how these variations can accumulate and what is the accumulation of variations. So students, I am giving you one example. If there is one bacteria and this bacteria is going to divide, means bacteria is there, so definitely in the most of the cases it is using asexual mode of reproduction. Then the resultant two bacteria which are the product of the first bacteria, once again they will undergo division or reproduction, and they will divide and they will make four, and once again the 4 will divide and they will form 8. So if we will compare the first one progeny and first one parents and the last one progeny, so you will find out that might be possible that there are some minor differences between these two bacteria, means the bacteria of the first generation and the last generation. This difference comes due to the inaccuracy in the DNA copying, एंड डिपेंडिंग ऑन द वेरिएशन, ये डिपेंड करता है कि कितना वेरिएशन आ रहा है. ठीक है, डिफरेंट इंडिविजुअल्स विल बी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम ईच अदर इन डिफरेंट डिग्रीज. ठीक है, दिस इज द रीजन दैट वाई द बैक्टीरियाज आर कैपेबल टू अडेप्ट देमसेल्फ in different heat, different temperature or different atmospheric conditions. So the selection of variant by environmental factors forms the basis of the evolutionary process. So means variation, we can say that the variations are coming regularly, but sometimes these variations are beneficial and sometimes these variations are not beneficial. So means the beneficial variations will accumulate, and those variations which are not beneficial, they will not accumulate because they have no survival benefit. Okay, now I'm coming to the final point. Now what is heredity and how the variation pass through generation after generation due to the heredity. ठीक है. In asexual reproduction, organisms raised are the exact copies of the parents. So I want to say that what is heredity? Heredity is a new word for you. I want to tell you that heredity means the passing of, or the concept or the phenomenon of passing of characters from parents to their offspring. Means the phenomenon or the concept through which the characters are passing from parents to their offspring is called heredity. And you know very well that what is variation. Now as we know that while asexual reproduction is there, there are rare chances of variation. ठीक है. In asexual reproduction, organism raised are the exact copies of their parents, because during the asexual reproduction very less or in very minute amount the DNA copying occurs. So though tend to preserve the similarities among all the individuals belonging to the given line of the descent. So I mean to say that the offspring or the children will be very much similar. I have to say that children word, or I have to use offspring word instead of it. The offspring will be quite identical from should be identical to the parents, and they exhibit very little variation due to the some environmental factors or mutation which are sudden changes in the gene. Out of these two factors only mutations are heritable. So means there are less chances of variations in the case of the asexual reproduction, and if a little bit variations are coming due to some change in the structure of the gene or some mutation, they will definitely pass on the next generation. While the heredity of variation will be quite higher in case of the sexual reproduction. Now I am talking about the heredity and variation in the sexual reproduction. As we know that sexual reproduction involves fusion of two different types of gametes. Means sexual reproduction involves fusion of male and female gamete. So the chances of the variation are quite greater in case of the sexual reproduction. ठीक है, because the offspring show variation from their parents due to the crossing over and exchange of their gene segment. So I want to tell you that during the time of the gamete formation, ठीक है, the two chromosome present in a single gamete will the two chromosome present in the gamete mother cell while it is undergoing meiosis process, and you will read it about meiosis in the higher classes. So initially I want to tell you that the during the process of the gamete formation, crossing over process occurs, and due to the crossing over the genetic material gets exchanged between two different chromosomes, and due to it a huge amount of variation can occur. And while the variation is coming, definitely in the form of the gametes, this variation will pass on the offspring. ठीक है. And what is heredity? You know very well that heredity means transmission of characters or traits from parents to their offspring. Thank you. Bye bye and have a nice day.